Welcome to another interview presented by Alabama Wrestling Forums. I'm Jackson Bass here with legendary Arizona State assistant coach, Coach Lee Pritts. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you doing, buddy?
Can't complain. So let me start off by asking you, what got you into wrestling?
Oh, you know what? I actually just did this on Flow on the Bader show not too long ago. It was my ninth grade coach. Ninth and 10th grade, I guess he coached me 2 years. He knew we were gymnasts. My sister was a gymnast, a couple years older than me, and he came up and said, "Hey, you got to wrestle." And I was like, "Nah, man, those guys are huge. There's no chance I'm wrestling." And he said, "No, they have weight classes." And so, and at the time I was karate and gymnastics and springboard diving. So, all I could think about was jumping off a turnbuckle and drop kicking another 85-pound dude in the chest. And I thought that sounded great. And and that's how I got started.
Wow. So, I did a little research on you, and what kind of led you to Eastern Michigan? I know you're originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's kind of a distance.
Yeah, Willie Gatson. So I went there 100% because of Willie Gatson. Kyvan Gatson's, it's his dad, right? I knew Willie a little bit from Florida. And I say a little bit, a lot of it. And, he started coaching, and man, I got to tell you, he was probably the most influential man in the sport of wrestling to me, right up until the day that he passed, So there wasn't 2 weeks that went by from the time I met him until the day that he passed, and we didn't talk, So it was always a huge influencer in my life, and he was the reason I was there.
So obviously you were a 3-time national qualifier, All-American for EMU. What kind of led you to knowing that you wanted to go right into coaching right out of college?
I didn't. Well, I knew I wanted to coach. And a guy named Mike Strauss, who's actually a high school coach in Florida, but long time Granby School wrestling guy. One time he told me, we were talking, and he's like, "What's your plans? And I told him how I was going to be a health and PE teacher and coach wrestling. But the only thing I cared about was coaching wrestling. I didn't care about teaching. And he was actually he was an elementary school teacher as well, a PE teacher, and he took it really serious. So when I was giving him my plan, he was almost offended by, how nonchalant I cared about the teaching side of it. And it really woke me up to like, that is right, because when I told him my plan, it was all about the wrestling. And so his response was, "What about your other 180 kids?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "The one where you have your real job for teaching." And I'm like, I don't have a plan for that, And he was, he set me straight on it and said, you have an obligation to teach. When you're going to be a teacher, you got to have a passion for teaching. He goes, "Maybe you should coach college." And I didn't know if I was going to have the opportunity to coach college or how it would work. And then after, I can't remember, after my sophomore junior year, I'm at the NCAA tournament making weight. I was actually making weight. And Brian Smith was like, "Hey, when you finish," and he actually, my junior and senior year, Brian Smith from University of Missouri coached me my junior and senior year in high school, and we stayed close, and I'd go train with him from time to time. And, but he came up to me and goes, "Hey, when you're done, I want you to come coach with me." And that was kind of the pathway. So I kind of knew I was going to go right out of college. I knew I was going with him somewhere.
So obviously you coached at Missouri for quite some time, and you got to coach a lot of world-class athletes, both the Askren brothers,
Yeah.
Max and Ben, and a lot of other really world-class athletes. And those two specifically were national champs. And you're in the room. You've been in the room with national champs over at Arizona State. What are some of the things that you see in a national champ? Like, obviously, they're a breed above the best.
Yeah.
So what are some key things that kind of point you to like that kid could be a national champ?
Self-drive is one. I can tell you all the people that I've been around that have won national title, and it's kind of funny where you get a lot of people right after Zahid Valencia wins nationals. Like, oh man, great job, you guys. I said, no, we just got him Gatorade and a towel and got out of his way, and and then I'd give somebody else's name that people don't really know. I said, you should see what we did with that guy. He placed in every open tournament this year, and he didn't. I said, we had to coach that guy. And it's halfway a joke, but these guys that are really good, a lot of it's just managing them, helping them manage their emotion, helping them, the technical side of it, they're there, right? And usually the mental, the physical, it's all self-driven, and they're there. And it's more just helping guide them and let them know, okay, here's the bumps in the road that are coming. Here's, how you're going to navigate it is up to you, but here's what's coming in front of you. And I think that's a lot of it. But these guys, like, the Ben Askrens and Zahid Valencias, they're so self-driven that, sometimes you got to help them get out of their own way.
So obviously, not only are you a Division I coach, you're a Division I coach at one of the top 5 programs in the country easily. What does it take to wrestle at Arizona State?
I don't think it changes, from one university to the other. To be honest with you, it's how driven are you? There has to be a certain amount of talent, right? You have to have a certain level of talent to be in the ballpark of the program. But as long as you're driven, both academically and athletically, we really believe in the student athlete model. And it's something that's really big to us. And with our team this year, we had a 3.325 team GPA. And our goal is a 3.33, so we missed it by just a smidget. But so yeah, you got to be driven at a high level, in both athletically and academically.
How big? I know that Alabama, I think we're like 49th in education overall in the country. Not to talk bad about the state, but how important are academics to getting recruited?
I think they're huge. I think they're huge. It's the one thing that keeps you in the mix, right? I mean, you got to be exceptional. If your GPA is pretty low, you got to be an exceptional wrestler. Because it's you have administration that you have to deal with. You have your president, your athletic director, your academic coach going, okay, this guy has a 2.3. Why are we bringing him in? There's got to be someone else out there, right? And so I just think it's easy if someone's taking care of their schoolwork. It just makes it real easy to eliminate that portion of pitfalls. And for us personally, at Arizona State, we have academic aid. So you can qualify for up to 34% in academic aid. And, so you take a guy, not the Eric Bizet, but you take a guy like a Colton Schultz, who's an excellent student. Well, everybody and their mother out there is going to give him a full ride, right? I don't care where he wants to go. I mean, he was not going to pay to go to school. And, and everybody has their own niche, but for us, we don't have to give him. He can qualify for up to 34% academic aid. So that saves us scholarship dollars, and yet still gets him everything he needs.
So I actually asked a couple kids some, what questions they might have if I had a college coach come on. And one of the questions was, do college coaches really only look at something like the state tournament, where I know some people tend to, sometimes it's like something in their head, like a block, they don't ever win like a title. But
yeah. I'll be honest with you, I used to go to state tournaments, a lot, especially in my early years. There was less national events, and so I remember going to one day of Ohio state tournament, then the next morning shooting over to Pennsylvania for a day of their state tournament, or Jersey, New York, just hitting one day at each and just trying to get everyone you can. But now it's all national events. So I really, to be honest with you, I don't even really look at state tournaments. When you start, you have Ironman, Super 32, and Fargo and Doc B and Beast of the East. We can keep going. Journeyman, Fall Grappler. Journeyman has a couple events. So it's like, yeah, there's so many national events out there now that I really focus on those, and those are the kids you want anyway. And it's not even necessarily all because of success. It's they're seeking out the best competition. They want to wrestle against the best people, and that's what we're looking for as competitors.
So, kind of the big news that came out is this NLI stuff. What is your guys' kind of take on all that name, image, and likeness stuff?
No, I think it's great. It is. It's how many people are going to get rich off it? I don't know. But I think it's great. I think the opportunities that are out there are great. I think there's going to be challenges. I don't know exactly what they are yet, but I know there's going to be some challenges. If all of a sudden you have a 18, 19-year-old kid pulling in, $10,000 a month, all of a sudden he's got a pocket full of cash. I'm not sure he's ready to handle that responsibility, So, but again, there's pitfalls and everything, that's just something as coaches, we got to be aware of what they could be. But heck, at the end of the day, for the athletes, student athletes who have an opportunity, I think it's wonderful.
So I've got a segment on my show called The Weigh-In, and usually I have these 3 very specific questions. I'm going to kind of flip them up a little bit so they make more sense to you. But so the first one is Alabama wrestling currently stands as a 3-division state for wrestling. We have 1 through 4A, 5, 6A, and 7A. Do you think that most states should have 1 division or multiple divisions?
1. I didn't know. I started wrestling 9th grade, so I didn't know. And all of a sudden, I win a state title my junior year. I didn't really understand. I was oblivious. I didn't understand there was classes in multiple divisions. I didn't know that. And all of a sudden, I'm in the States, I'm looking over, and there's 2 more podiums. And I'm like, whoa, I'm a state champ. But there was 2 other state champs. And so I was like, I remember writing them down and going searching for them in the summer because I was like, I want to know if I was the state champ. I had to know if I was the state champ. And, so if I had my way, every state would be 1.
So in Alabama, we don't have in any sport, you're not allowed to compete with the club team in season. Do you think that ends up benefiting a lot of kids that they're able to do that? Or do you think that might actually hinder some kids?
No, I think it probably hinders, right? Take the elite level guy who doesn't have training partners inside his own room. He's got to get, how's he going to get better? Maybe he lives in a town where he travels all spring and summer. He's at a high level and he doesn't have training partners. That guy's going to transfer. That guy's going to transfer probably to another school, and why not? If the guy wants to go to a club workout, let him go to a club workout. I don't like rules that help that keep lazy on a level playing field. And I think a lot of these rules say, oh, I'll let the lazy coach be successful too. I'll put rules in that allows the lazy coach to be successful too. And, it's like, no, if somebody wants to go out there and work, let them work.
So what would you respond to maybe someone that says that maybe they're letting their kid go, but they might burn out because they're practicing so much?
Yeah. I don't believe in burnout. It's no one says they have to go to club practice. No one says they have to go 4 nights a week. They might just need to go 1 night a week. You know, they might get all the hammers around, you know, hey, on Tuesday night's our night. We don't compete until Thursday or Friday. So Tuesday night's our night. We'll get all the hammers together on Tuesdays. You know, it's opportunity, right? It's opportunity. The burnout thing, we kind of use this as a joke around here, but as a parent, you know, what day do you get off? You know, if you don't feel like parenting today, you don't get that choice. You still got to be a parent. You know, you don't get the burnout of being a parent. You know, so to me, burnout is loss of focus on your goals. You know, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen. That happens all the time, right? So now, but it's not the work. It's not the, you know, it's like, hey, okay, come here. Let's refocus you. Where are you at? What's your vision? Where do you want to be? You know, and maybe you're tired. So maybe we have to, you know, reroute or readjust your training plan or your scheduling. But, you know, you don't see highly motivated people burnt out.
So, Coach, before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to my viewers?
No, I mean, the only thing I'd say is, and I know we talked a little off camera, was about wrestling in college, and guys, there's 78 Division I programs, right? And not everyone can wrestle Division I, but there's Division II, there's your Division III, junior college, NAIA, there's clubs. You know, there's a lot of opportunity out there, and you know, I would say explore them all. Explore them all. A lot of NAIA schools popping up everywhere. I think, and it's awesome, you know, and the more we can just keep people progressing the sport and growing it, it'll continue to help at the grassroots. So yeah, go out there and explore, guys. Girls, a lot of girl wrestling too now, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
We just had
exploding.
our first girls state tournament this past year. We're not
Yeah.
sanctioned yet, but we had some kind of a tournament that we hosted. So
That's awesome. Yeah, it's exploding, man. It's exploding. And, you know, having four of the six Olympians bring home medals and 5 for 5 and men's freestyle.
oh, yeah,
You know, it just, wrestling's in a really good spot right now.
definitely is. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay cool. I've been wrestling.